Alright, so this video may be helpful for anybody that's got a Cherokee, not a Grand Cherokee, but a Jeep Cherokee with either the 2.4 or the 3.2 V6 in it. I'll start you off the simple part. That's the cover that pulls right off the top of the engine. Comes off pretty easily. You just pull up on it. It's got 4 grommets right here, here, down there, and down there. This whole cover just pops right off. That gains you some access. On this model, this is a Latitude Plus. It has this little skid plate down below. It's got 9 10mm bolts. So 4 in the front, 5 in the rear. That comes down fairly easily once you get that down out of the way. This has got the 9-speed transmission. This is a ZF transmission. The first thing you need to do is, if you get on Amazon and you search for the dipstick, you can get this off of Amazon, because they don't design this with a dipstick on the transmission, but you need this right here. I got 2. I got this and just a straight aluminum colored one. This one's easier to tell the fluid level on than the other one is. This one being black, it's easier to see where the fluid level's at when you pull the dipstick out. I'll show you where to do that here in a second. Here's the other one. I got them both because I figured one might be better than the other. They're both dirt cheap off of Amazon. This one has the same markings. And get that to focus. But this one, once you drop it in there and get the fluid on it, it's harder to tell where the level is at, just because it's shiny, kind of like the fluid. The black one's easier to tell. So if you go to get one of these off Amazon, they have both the shiny one and the black one. I would go for the black one. First thing you're going to want to do, once you get the upper and lower covers off, you know, the cover up here and the skid plate down below, this would be the same on a 2.4. They have engine covers that pop up pretty easily. First thing you want to do is get this out. This is the fill plug. This is an M6 Allen. So it's a metric 6mm Allen plug. It's got a little bossed O-ring that's built into it. Doesn't require changing as long as you don't butcher it up. What you want to do is that plug, if you're looking at the engine compartment, it's down straight over here. So you want to, once you get the cover off, let me see if I can zoom in down here and get you where you can see where that plug came out. That plug, see, there it is. Okay, so looking down over there, see where that hole's at? That's where that plug came out. You drop that dipstick, so you need to have the engine running in park. And on this unit, I can pull up the transmission fluid temperature on the dash. It'll show me the trans fluid temperature on the dash. Otherwise, you need a scan tool, because there's a chart online that you need to reference when you check the fluid level, because it shows you what the minimum, the maximum, and the nominal or preferred level would be based on fluid temperature. I'll put a link down below where you can get access to the service information for this. It's a DIY off of Mitchell. It's fairly affordable. It's not bad at all. So that hole is where that fill plug goes, and that hole is straight down back there. The way I got that out was a 6mm Allen on a swivel. So that's an H6, and I'm just using my cheapo tools, man. I'm not at work, so I'm at home. So swivel, this is an 18-inch extension, then I put a 4-inch extension on top of that, and that gained me nice access, because I dropped that extension and that Allen straight down in here, and then I was able to just get on top of that second extension. So that's the way you get the fill plug out. You go back down in there, you can stick your arm straight down in right through here with this dipstick in your hand. Pop this dipstick down in and then pop it out. And then first thing I did was got the vehicle up to operating temperature, checked the fluid temperature on the dash, and then stuck this down in there and popped it straight back out and measured the fluid level prior to doing anything. That way at least I know where my baseline starting point is going to be. Okay, so once you get the fill plug out, that's probably the first thing to do that's important, because you don't want to drain it until you can make sure that you've got the ability to get it back in. So underneath, with the skid plate removed, you can see the drain plug is right there. So for the sake of knowing how much came out, I sacrificed one of my wife's plastic containers that has markings on it. I'm sure you could get one off of Amazon pretty cheap. I pulled this drain plug here and I drained it into that container, and then getting ready to torque this back up. Again, factory service information is important if you really want to do it the right way. They do have a torque spec for this plug. What I found on Mitchell is 26 foot-pounds. They also give you the Newton meter equivalent as well. I'm going to torque this right now. Okay, so this drain plug under here is an 8mm Allen, whereas the fill plug was a 6mm Allen. So just be prepared for that. I got my torque wrench set here to 26 foot-pounds. And I'm going to torque this right here. Second time, just to be sure. I'm a diesel technician. I work for the dealership here, and I'm used to utilizing factory service information, and I prefer to torque things. You could do this without a torque wrench, just don't go full gorilla. It's only an O-ring boss plug. You don't need to monkey it on there so tight that you cause issues. Keep in mind, transmission case that you're going into is aluminum. That is a steel plug with an O-ring that's embossed into it, but you don't want to go to the stupid level here. So even a cheapo $20 torque wrench from Harbor Freight will do that torque. I'm using an Icon because they had it on coupon, so it was worth it. Stand by. So this is the container that I drained the transmission fluid into. We had 2 of these clear containers. I asked my wife, which one do you like less? She knew what was coming. She's like, you're going to destroy one of them, aren't you? I was like, no, I can wash it after I use it. But nonetheless, this one had markings. So 3.5 quart is right, hard to see. 3.5 quart mark is basically right there. And the gallon or 4 quart mark is right here at the shelf. So 3.5's down here, and the gallon is up here. So I marked with a black marker where it was at after I drained all of it into this and let it drain till it basically stopped. So it's basically exactly like 3 3/4 of a quart. I had marked it in several spots. I marked it there, there, just so I could keep track of how much came out. And then what I ended up doing is I serviced my transmission on my truck yesterday. So I had the empty containers that I had used over here. So I drained it all from this into those so I could just double redundantly verify how much was in it. So I put a quart into each of these, and then that 4th quart I got 20 ounces into. So I got 3 full quarts and then 20 ounces of a 4th quart, because that's basically right at the 20, aside from a little bit. And I might be just a smidge over on these, so it's probably right at 20 ounces there. As far as putting the fluid into it, I'll show you what I opted to do. There are several different options you can choose to try and get the fluid in this. I've seen other videos where people have pulled the tire off, pulled the inner fender out, and tried to go in through that way with a fluid extraction and pump. I opted not to go that way because I found that I could access that fill hole from up top, just straight down the way I showed you earlier. Wasn't too bad. I'll show you what I'm using. I'll show you the fluid I'm using and show you what I'm using to get it in there. This pump comes from AMSOIL. This is the instruction sheet that came with the pump. It's kind of nice because you can screw it onto AMSOIL quart jugs or gallon bottles, and it comes with both of the pickups. So if you're screwing it onto a quart jug, you just use the shorter one. Longer one, obviously, if you screw it onto a gallon. You just screw this right onto the container. It has a 3-foot hose that comes off of this, and that hose fits perfectly down in that hole where that fill plug came out. So I'm going to be able to pump it directly down in there. I'll just have to make sure I get the right amount in there, roughly what came out of it, and then I'll check it after that. The part number for this hand pump, I think, was right here. AMSOIL Universal Gear Lube Pump, G2039. So I have an AMSOIL annual membership that I pay for. It's worth it because all the fluid that I put in both my vehicle and my wife's Jeep, I run AMSOIL in them, just because you get what you pay for, or you don't. I mean, a lot of people have different preferences. That's fine. There's plenty of videos out on the internet that show where quality stuff is at. So here's one of the quart jugs. This screws right on it, and that 3-foot hose comes off of here, and it literally goes down in there perfectly and fits right down into that fill hole. Oh, do you have any idea how difficult it is to try and get the camera to focus when you're just using your phone and you're trying to show where you're going? That's the oil fill plug hole right there, if it'll focus there. Now I understand what Erico goes through. Enhance, unenhance. So that's where the oil fill plug hole is at. I can't get it to zoom in really well. That clear tube runs right down there, fits perfectly down in that oil fill plug hole. And that's where I'm going to pump the fluid in, right there. I know this is not the best shot, but you get what you get. I can't get it to focus where I want it to focus down in there, just because it's not the best for filming. It's really, you can see it, but trying to get the camera to focus way down in that little hole down there is not real easy. Okay, so anyone that wants to know what fluid I used, this right here, AMSOIL Synthetic Automatic Transmission Fluid. This is the Signature Series. From AMSOIL's website, you can enter your vehicle and it'll tell you recommended fluids, and this is what they recommended for this, based off of my VIN and what transmission's in it. There's a bunch of different ones that this applies to. Chrysler Mopar, it's got a couple different part numbers for the fluid there, and there's additional applications listed on their website. So this is what I'm putting in it. I called the dealership and they told me that this was a sealed for life transmission with lifetime fluid. Lifetime. I said, who's lifetime? What do you consider a lifetime? I can tell you what they consider a lifetime. Long enough for it to get out of warranty and then have you go buy another vehicle. That's what they consider a lifetime. That's the biggest bundle of horse crap I've ever heard. Don't ever trust that there's such a thing as lifetime fluid. Let me look. 70, I think roughly 76,000 miles on it. Let me check it. Let's see what pops up. 76,369 is what this has on the clock. Yeah, 76,369 is what it has on it. I've owned this since it was brand new. I bought it brand new. Shortly after it was broken in, I swapped it over to AMSOIL as far as oil goes, and that's all I've run in it since. It's been a good vehicle. I've really had no major problems with it. This is the first time I've serviced the transmission. Of course, you can't do the filter on it because the filter is between the cases. You'd have to drop the transmission, split the cases to get the filter out of it. But even a drain and fill is better than leaving it for its lifetime. There are a few issues that are known to happen on these. These 3.2s are essentially the same engine as the 3.6 that you'll find in some of the bigger, like the Grand Cherokee, you can find the 3.6 in. Jeep Wrangler, some of them have the 3.2, some of them have 3.6. This is a Pentastar. So this is the oil filter. It's got a plastic oil cooler that's down in the valley underneath the intake here. Those are known to leak. This one's been leaking. I haven't done it yet. There is a little bit of an oil residue down inside the intake in there. I don't know if you can see it, but no major leaks, no major problems on this. The biggest problem I had on this was the PTU. These have what they call a PTU. It's a power transfer unit. It more or less does the same thing as a transfer case. It bolts to the transmission on this side, and then the driver's side axle comes out of the transmission. The passenger side axle comes out of the PTU, and then there's a shaft that runs to the back. This is four-wheel drive. So there's a shaft that runs to the back that goes into what they call the RDU. I guess that's a rear drive unit, but nonetheless, the PTU actuator took a crap on this and it started throwing faults for it. It would intermittently work and not work. So I myself pulled the PTU out of this. What a dog of a job that is. You got to pull this wheel, get it up on a jack, pull this wheel off, pull the inner fender out. You got to undo the knuckle, get the strut out of the way. Then you got to pop the CV shaft out of it. You got to pull the CV shaft off the back of it that goes back to the back, and then you got to get in there to unbolt that thing. And what really sucks on it is, in order to get that PTU to come out, you got to unbolt the rear exhaust manifold off the cylinder head on the rear side, which would be the back. That was not a fun job. They have a fill plug on the PTU, but of course they don't have a drain plug on the PTU. So while I had the PTU out, I flipped it upside down, drained all the fluid out of that. I put AMSOIL fluid in that when I put it back together as well. And then I replaced the PTU actuator. That fixed the problem with that. So I just wanted to keep up on my maintenance on this. We just paid it off back in November. It's a 2018. We bought it brand new in October of 17. So if you maintain your stuff, it'll last you. Just don't fall for the bull crap from the dealership that this doesn't need maintenance, because it absolutely needs maintenance. So hopefully this video will be helpful for someone that's looking to maintain their transmission. This is a 9-speed, and you can actually see the model number for the transmission. So if you look past the battery here, you look down at the transmission case, there is a sticker right there. Get that to focus. 948 TE, that's the model number on this transmission. It is the 9-speed. So hopefully that's helpful for somebody. All right, have fun. Bye.